Good afternoon, everyone. So, I believe you people are waiting since morning, and this is a very right approach because civil services is all about this. So, diligence, hard work, and you people are showing it in true colors. So, here we are with the prelims 2024 discussion, and the areas which I shall be discussing today would be polity and governance, internal security issues, as well as questions which has come up on international relations. But before I dwell into the first section, that is polity and governance, let's look into the breakdown which has come up. So as you can find, as far as polity and governance is concerned, 15 questions has come up. More or less the trend has been the same. However, the nature, as in the areas within polity and governance, what kind of question has come up? This time UPSC has come up with a huge surprise. What is that surprise? So for past few years, what the trend was that more orientation or attention was being given to conceptual questions like constitutionalism, like welfare state, like justice aspect, right? This time UPSC has shown that UPSC, of course, is very unpredictable. This is the reason this time most of the question, in fact, I would say all the questions are following into that factual aspect of polity. So one takeaway which you can take once we are done with the entire exercise would be, don't take facts as far as constitution is concerned to be granted, that you don't consider that because for past few years the trend has been on conceptual, so I would be concentrating more on concepts, right? So jo bhi Bare Act you are studying, whichever book you are studying, whichever notes you are studying, the factual aspect remains very, very essential. This is one thing which UPSC have shown this time. As far as international relation is concerned, here it is 3, but altogether if I summarize with current affairs, 4 almost question has come up. So as I always suggest for international relations also, when we would be discussing the question, you would find questions have been more which has come up into news, and questions like World Toilet Organizations and all, these are few questions which are core factual in nature, right? So this is also one we need to understand. And of course, let me tell you, all the most of the things which have been asked, be it in polity, governance, or IR, or internal security, somewhere down the line they are linked with something which has happened related to it in last 1 year. So subsequent source also I have tried to provide. So let's ponder to the first question which has come up this year. So this is a very simple question, straightforward question. Difficulty level was easy, actually nature was absolutely factual, and this is the source. So directly from the Bears Act, that is this constitution book, you could get forward this question. Let's find out the question. Ab question hum वैसे ही करेंगे like we always do. Most of the questions are factual, so of course we can't go forward with some kind of tricks, but definitely wherever I feel we could have employed tricks, we will look into that. How many delimitation commissions have been constituted by Government of India till December 2023? When I was having these discussions before this examination, I always told you that something related to elections are definitely going to come up, and delimitation commission of course was into news. So now the correct option is of course 4. This is a core factual aspect, first we'll understand what do you mean by delimitation. क्या होता है delimitation? Delimitation means that the territorial constituencies of an area are being rearranged and that is being fixed, or the boundaries are being fixed by a legislative body, and such legislative body is called delimitation commission. इसी को हम boundary commission भी कहते हैं. So technically what the exercise is that after the census there is an act which is being passed, and as per this act this body gets created. ठीक है? But something happened in between because of which the seats got frozen till 2026. This is the reason delimitation commission नहीं बन पाया, right? So till date they have been 4 times when delimitation commission has come up. 1952, and of course this is, as it say, it's a legislative body, act of a parliament से पार होती है. So in 1952, then in 1963, then in 1973 as per this act, and then in 2002, right? What else I have written? So delimitation, few more questions which can come up. एक बहुत cliche सा question आता है. The delimitation commission is of course a very high power body and cannot be called in question before any court. This is a very, very traditional question, so you can always expect this type of question to be asked. 84th constitutional amendment हुआ, उसने कहा कि seats would be reserved or constituencies would be in the same way frozen till 2026. This is the reason you would also find out that the recently promulgated women reservation bill cannot be implemented directly. ठीक है ना? उसमें भी क्या बोला है कि once this entire phrasing limit goes out, that is after 2026, once the census things comes up, then delimitation commission will happen, and only after that seats would be rearranged for the women as well. So somewhere we can expect this women reservation bill also to come up into floor in 2029. This is as per the Home Minister also said. ठीक है? इसी से related एक question आया भी है, that also we would be discussing. So this question was quite a simple question, factual question tha. Let's move on to the next question. Now next question again is a absolutely factual question. Difficulty level, I would not say it's very easy, it's medium. Why it is medium? Next slide would show why it is medium. पहले question पढ़ते हैं. Question says that there is a 71st Constitutional Amendment Act which came up in 1992. It amended the 8th schedule of the Constitution to include which of the following languages? So now we have these 4 languages into our mind, and these are few of the correct options. So now let's move on to the explanation. Explanation says that yes, of course, there is a 8th schedule in our constitution which deals with this idea of official languages, though there is no such criteria on the basis of which a language would be included into this particular schedule, right? But still there are languages which are included, and originally there were just 14 languages. With subsequent amendment, or subsequent bhi ek nahi hue, there were 3 subsequent amendment. This is the reason I have projected it within the difficulty level of medium, because for you people now it becomes an exercise to understand and summarize those 2 other amendments as well. So there is this 71st Constitutional Amendment Act which actually included Konkani, so Konkani is there, Manipuri is there, and Nepali into the 8th Constitution. So all these 3 languages were being included by 71st Constitutional Amendment Act. It was Maithili which was being included as far as 92nd Constitutional Amendment Act, and along with Maithili it was Bodo, Dogri, Santali which were included in 2003. बहुत ही cliche question है, and you see if you people, I mean जिन लोगों ने इस बार exam दिया, if these students must have gone through the previous year's question, this is one question which gets repeated so often. So now this is a slide which is showing you you the entire idea regarding languages. So more information on 8th schedule. So of course it includes official languages. What is the part? Now part becomes very important because I told you this year UPSC has come up asking parts. It has come up asking articles, right? In fact, एक core dynamic area जिसको हम international relations कहते हैं, उसमें भी they have asked static factual question, right? So the point is UPSC wants you to explore into each and every section. So now in part 17 of our constitution, there is this article 343 to article 351, which includes the official languages and all the provision. This is one question which is often being asked. Is there any fixed criteria? You would say no, there is no such fixed criteria. But suppose आपके समय एक ये statement आया और एक ये statement आया. Is there any fixed criteria for classical languages to be included? What will you say? Yes, there is a fixed criteria. You're getting the point? Official languages के लिए there is no such fixed criteria. For classical language, you do have certain fixed criteria. It is Ministry of Culture which provides the guidelines, and there are strict criteria which are also mentioned. Anyways, so now there are altogether 22 languages. Originally, as I told you, सिर्फ 14 languages, three subsequent amendment happened, and now you have to remember these amendment. So it was 21st constitutional amendment Sindhi got added. Then the question which is asked is about 71st constitutional amendment Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali got added, and then 92nd constitutional amendment Bodo, Dogri, Maithili and Santhali got added. चलो 92nd constitutional amendment दिमाग में आया है. Can you people memorize or tell me something about 91st constitutional amendment act? 92nd के 91st को जरा बताओ. Yes, as far as fixation of the seats for the Council of Ministers is concerned, right? 15% needs to be the upper range. So this is the way you need to figure out some kind of connection. There's no such connection I'm saying, but of course then if 92 is important, 91 or obviously should come up into mind ki what is the idea. Anyways, I told you classical language bhi 8th schedule mein hi included hai, and then currently there are 6 classical languages. Question aata hai, what is the first classical language? Tamil is the first classical language. Odia is the last classical language to be included, right? So these are few more things which we need to take forward when we are going forward with answer explanation. Chalo. Now let's move into the next question. Next question talks about, see, parts ही पूछे गए हैं all together. So now we will be taking one by one everything. So which of the following statement are correct? And the first statement is powers of municipality are given in part 9A of our constitution. Sahi hai ye? Part 9A, absolutely correct. Municipalities means the urban local bodies. The urban local bodies were being included as far as which amendment is concerned? 74th Constitutional Amendment, year 1992, came into force 1993. Okay? So, of course, this is one idea, absolutely correct. Next is emergency provisions are given in part 18 of the Constitution. So part 18 of the Constitution do mention about 3 kinds of emergency. This is the national emergency under article 352. 356 कौन बोल रहा है? 352. Okay, financial emergency under article, excellent, कौन बोला? ये भी गड़बड़. 360, ठीक है? Then failure of constitutional machinery is under, or the breakdown of constitutional machinery is under article 356. Dekho, now you people yourself are understanding. This is a very basic thing. You need to understand and know this also. This you should not only know from prelims perspective, but also for mains perspective. Remember, जब आप mains की answer writing करते हैं, if you are adding articles and part to that, it always show that you have put that much of labor into you memorizing these things, and of course examiner will reward you for that. This is the reason these are basic article you must remember. ठीक है? So this option is absolutely correct. Provision relating to amendment of the constitution are given in part 20 of the constitution. Absolutely correct. This is article 368, right? So we all know changes happen in the constitution. Changes can take place through through simple majority, that is just 50% is required, and sorry, not exactly 50%, just the majority is required, and then through special majority. जितने भी special majority के provisions हैं, those are being included within article 368, right? Let's find out if we can create few more understanding. Now when we have discussed about municipalities, और क्या question आ सकता है? So as far as urban local bodies are concerned, mostly there are 8, you can say, urban local bodies, but out of this there are 3 most important urban local bodies. What are these 3 very basic urban local bodies? बताएंगे? This is Nagar Panchayat, this is Municipal Council, and then there is Municipal Corporation. Now let me tell you one thing, this is not something in hierarchy. जैसे हम PRI structure में देखते हैं, there is a 3-tier system in which there is a hierarchy which is being maintained. There is no such hierarchy. This is, the division is basically on the basis of population of that particular area. Can someone tell me what should be the population within which that particular area would be considered within this idea of Nagar Panchayat? 30,000 plus तो बहुत ज़्यादा आपने expansion कर दिया. So it has to be, the upper limit has to be 1 lakh. राइट यानी बिलो 1 लाख पॉपुलेशन अगर है नगर पंचायत, ठीक है, टिल 10 लाख पॉपुलेशन है तो म्यूनिसिपल काउंसिल, मोर देन 10 लाख पॉपुलेशन है तो म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन. दिस हैज टू बी द आइडिया, ठीक है. अपर लिमिट याद कर लेंगे, लोअर जो भी आएगा यू कैन ऑलवेज राइट डाउन. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो वन वे टू टेक फॉरवर्ड द आइडियाज. तो जब कोई स्टेटमेंट आ रहा है एंड यू आर नॉट एबल टू फिगर आउट फ्यू मोर थिंग्स, यू कैन ऑलवेज ट्राई टू डाइवर्सिफाई और डिकोड दैट एंटायर एरिया. इसके अलावा और कौन कौन से अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज हैं? Like you have notified area committee, you have cantonment board, you have special purpose vehicles, right? You have port trust. So these are other urban bodies. चलो नेक्स्ट वी आर गोइंग विद द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, अब ये क्वेश्चन हम थोड़ा कॉमन सेंस से सॉल्व करेंगे. डिफिकल्टी लेवल इज मीडियम. However, many cases when actually this paper got released, this was one of the few questions which many of the students were pondering upon. So ये question UPSC ने बड़े ही intelligently लिखा है, but like what I was doing in my open session, I told you UPSC will give you a lead. And in every statement, UPSC has given a lead, right? So now let's read out the question. Which one of the following statement is correct as per Constitution of India? Interstate trade and commerce is a state subject under state list. ठीक है? Next is interstate migration is a state subject under state list. Third is interstate quarantine is a union subject under union list. And then is, of course, corporation tax is a state subject under state list. We have to figure out which one option is correct. सबसे पहले तो ये बताओ which option you would strike out explicitly. वो तो हो ही नहीं सकता है. अरे आई वॉज थिंकिंग डी, कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स, इनकम टैक्स, कॉर्पोरेशन टैक्स तो यूनियन के अंदर है. दिस इज वन ऑप्शन एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. इसको तो हमने बिल्कुल निगेट कर लिया. आप लोग तो कॉम्प्लेक्स जोन में चले गए. कॉम्प्लेक्स ही तो है ए, बी एंड सी. नाउ द आइडिया इज एनीथिंग विच इज हैपनिंग विद इन द स्टेट कम्स विद इन स्टेट जुरिस्डिक्शन, समथिंग विद इन यूनियन लिस्ट कम्स अंडर यूनियन जुरिस्डिक्शन, एंड समथिंग विद इन द 2 states कम्स अगेन विद इन यूनियन जुरिस्डिक्शन. ये ये लीड यूपीएससी ने आपको दे दी थी. So now try to figure out interstate trade and commerce. Will it fall under state list? No, it will not fall. Interstate migration, definitely not. देखो एक तो issues भी तो कितने critical हैं. देखो interstate migration, एक state से दूसरे state migration. Suppose इस logic से भी करो, एक state से दूसरे state migration हो रहा है. Migration is something जहाँ एक push factor होता है और एक pull factor होता है. How would you pay the onus of responsibility to one particular state? किस state के ऊपर वो responsibility होगी? No, none of the state would accept. This is again the reason union will come out in between. ठीक है? So उस logic से भी you could have taken forward. Then interstate quarantine is a union subject. Of course, एक तो quarantine जैसा important idea plus interstate. So definitely this option is absolutely correct. So my point is, most of the questions IR के हों या polity के manageable थे. कुछ तो facts के basis में जो easy थे और आपको याद ही करना था, and few of the things you can always logically follow. So there is a 7th schedule. थोड़े additional points देखेंगे. Article 246 which generally defines that there are 3 lists. So you have a union list. Right now there are 98 subjects. Then you have a state list with 59 subjects, and then you have a concurrent list with 52 subjects. Interstate trade and commerce finds itself in union list, interstate migration also, and interstate quarantine also. So option number C is the correct option. Again, the source is directly from the book. So directly from any of the Bayes Act, you can find and come across this question. Chalo. Now is the next question. Again, this question, I would not say it has been in news. क्योंकि, हाँ जी, previous slide, you are saying, अच्छा, हाँ जी, please ask. I am not able to hear you, बेटा, जोर से बोलो. Why this question was asked? देखो, it's not necessary, वही मैं बता रही हूँ, right to life वाला next question भी मैं यही बता रही. It's not necessary that every question would be somehow into news. So now why this question has been asked, one of our student is asking. देखो, federalism has been one of the conflicting zone as far as Indian political system is concerned. और कोई भी issue होता है, it always land up between issues between center and the state. Moment you start talking about center and state, तब subject jurisdiction की बात आती है. Therein we start talking about 7th schedule. ठीक है? This is the reason this question might be asked. Next, again, as I said, जरूरी नहीं है कि वो contextually relevant हो, but the idea is so perennial that it will always haunt as far as main studies is also concerned. This is the much talked idea of right to privacy. So 2018 में there was a Supreme Court declaration under the Puttaswamy case, within which it was being said that right to privacy would be included within this composite article which is called Article 21. Article 21 क्या कहता है? Life and liberty. The very fact कि यहाँ पर term liberty is being included, this makes Article 21 one of the most comprehensive article. ठीक है? क्योंकि somewhere down the line Article 19 में आप freedom देख रहे हो, and a more qualified term to freedom is that of liberty. और Article 21 को इसीलिए more qualified या glorious article हम मानते हैं. In fact, Trinity में लाया करता है in the fundamental rights, right? So of course Article 20, और एक बात और, Article 21 is the, I believe, one of the article which has kept on adding many aspects within itself. तो वो जो एक idea आप कहते हो ना, Constitution is a living document which illustrates that how new ideas are being added either through amendment or through Supreme Court judgments. तो उसमें अगर कोई एक article लाया करता है तो this is Article 21, right? So it was a very easy question because mains में भी you keep on, pondering on this issue. So right to privacy is related to which of the following article? It has to be Article 21. Rest all are also fundamental rights. So this is right to equality, this is public opportunity, and this is right to freedom. But this is much more glorified idea, that is right to life and liberty. Okay? So this is also a very factual question which came up. Next question करते हैं. Now this question, adding to unki queries say, this question was very much into news. What was the reason? So Anil Chauhan was being appointed as the new CDS, but ये ना कुछ December 2022 की शायद बात है. So you can always figure out कि एक पूरी complete 1 year की analysis becomes very important if you really wish to find out कि polity से भी कौन से questions might come up. So the source is, of course, I have provided the source from PIB and an article also of Hindu, and on this basis this question has come up. चलो read करते हैं, but इस question को हम logically कोशिश करेंगे solve करने की. What are the duties of Chief of the Defence Staff as a head of the Department of Military Affairs? So we all know that there is a Chief of Defence Staff, and these are the important duties. You can read about these duties. Few of these are being asked here. One first statement, Permanent Chairman of Chiefs of Staff Committee. So you are finding it perfectly fine or not? Permanent Chairman of Chiefs of Staff Committee. So this is fine because he in any ways is Chief of the Defence Staff. So of course he would be the permanent Chairman of Chiefs of the Staff Committee. Second option is exercise military command over the 3 service chiefs. Tell me, is this option correct or not? Exercise military command over all the 3 service chiefs. Military command over all the 3 service chiefs means it's a very, very integral aspect they are talking about. Whom do you think our constitution can provide these functions to? Which dignitary? It has to be the president. Why? This is dealing with security aspects of a country, and the entire thing has to be in control of an elected head. Another point ये हो सकता है कि this person is not directly elected but elected तो है ही through electoral college से ही सही. So of course he is an elected head, and we are in a parliamentary form of government where there is the head of the state and all the formal things are in his hand. This is the reason I said कि logically if you could have understood, आप वैसे ही इस option को cross कर देते हैं. Moment you are crossing the second option, all the 3 options are being eliminated. We are landing ourselves to the last option, that is 1 and 3. So even if you don't know the functions, देखो UPSC कह ही नहीं रहा है कि आप सारे functions याद करो. देखो कितने सारे मैंने तो और extra functions लिख दिए for you people ताकि और difficulty हो जाए याद करने में, है ना? So UPSC ऐसा नहीं कर रहा है. I told you UPSC always gives you lead. It's want you people to qualify, है ना? So the point is कि एक lead UPSC ने दे दी थी, और देखो कितने comfortably उन्होंने intelligently options भी बनाए थे कि अगर एक बच्चे ने ये इसको negate किया, so you will land up to the correct option. So point is, अगर इस तरह के questions आते हैं, don't be very perplexed कि मैंने तो ये पढ़ा ही नहीं तो how would I solve it. नहीं पढ़ा तो start thinking. Always remember my point कि मुझको इस question में UPSC lead देगा. I just need to take forward that. Try to figure out कि अब इस question में elimination technique ही काम आएंगी, क्योंकि this is an overwhelming idea and it's not necessary that every person would remember all aspect. ठीक है? So from that logic also we can easily solve this question. Difficulty level, I would not say it's very difficult question, but yes, it was not easy either. So it's a medium question. Factual था, current affairs से आया था, as I told you. Okay, let's move on to the next question.
परमानेंट चेयरमैन ऑफ द चीफ्स ऑफ स्टाफ कमिटी, कमिटी का परमानेंट चेयरमैन, ठीक है ना, चीफ ऑफ स्टाफ कमिटी, कमिटी बनेगी उसका परमानेंट चेयरमैन है, ही इज नॉट द मिलिट्री कमांड ऑफ ऑल द 3 सर्विसेज, राइट। अब ये तो है ही किसी, ही इज चीफ ऑफ द डिफेंस स्टाफ, तो ऑल व्हाट 3 सर्विसेज आर डूइंग, व्हाट ऑल एक्टिविटीज आर हैपनिंग, उसको देखने के लिए कमिटी बनेगी, उसको तो हेड CDS ही करेंगे, बट मिलिट्री कमांड उनको नहीं दे सकते हैं, राइट। उसको देने का हक सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को है। इन इंडिया दैट इज एन इनडायरेक्ट इलेक्शन वाया प्राइम प्रेसिडेंट ओनली, राइट। चलो नेक्स्ट इज ओके, दिस क्वेश्चन इज ऑल्सो, हम इस क्वेश्चन को भी रीजनिंग से सॉल्व करेंगे। ऑफ कोर्स एक्सप्लेनेशन आई हैव ऑलरेडी प्रोवाइडेड। See, for mains, ethic committee and privilege committee both becomes very important, keeping into mind this entire idea of privileges which is being provided to MPs. आप लोग पढ़ते भी हैं, ठीक है। So from mains purpose also this becomes important, from pre-purpose also, but we will try to solve it through some kind of logic. So which of the following statements about ethic committee in Lok Sabha are correct, right? First point, initially it was an ad hoc committee. When UPSC gives a very subtle looking statement which does not have very deterministic connotation, in most of the cases those statements are correct, ठीक है। जहां UPSC बहुत strong statement डालेगा, you need to be very cautious. In most of the cases those statement goes wrong, but I would not say always, because इसी के third statement में actually deterministic statement है which is perfectly correct, but in most of the cases ये logic आप ले सकते हैं। So initially it was a ad hoc committee, yes of course initially it was an ad hoc committee, so came into the idea came in 1996 and after that it came up, but at that time it was an ad hoc committee. Now second statement देखो, only a member of Lok Sabha can make a complaint relating to unethical conduct of a member of Lok Sabha. जब आप statement पढ़ो तो which one word is appearing bit different from rest of the statement, आप खुद समझ जाओगे। जब आप practice करोगे ना, you would be able to find out. So when I am reading this statement, मेरे दिमाग में ये only word आया, and only itself is a lead which UPSC is giving, and this is the reason this statement is not correct. So even if you didn't had any idea कि ethic committee कैसे काम करता है, the simple fact कि only is being written and these kind of statements जो deterministic हैं, many times they are not correct, you can take forward that lead. अब explanation देखते हैं। See, member of Lok Sabha तो complain कर ही सकता है, even a normal person can make a complaint, right? ये normal person कैसे complain करेगा? Through the member of parliament, of course, Lok Sabha, but he has to go forward with a strong evidences along with a very strong affidavit. देखो क्या लिखा है? So any person can complain against the member through another Lok Sabha MP along with evidence of alleged misconduct, and also he must take forward a very strong affidavit. ठीक है? So any person can make a complaint. So accordingly this statement is not correct. First statement is correct. Third statement देखते हैं. This committee cannot take up any of the matter which is sub judice. देखो cannot word आया है, but at the same time UPSC ने इसमें एक word add कर दिया sub judice. Sub judice means something which is still being under the critical eyes of judiciary. Matter is being pending in judiciary. तो वो ethic committee क्या, कोई भी committee cannot take any decision on something which is still pending in the court. ठीक है? So despite of the fact you are finding this sentence, the very fact sub judice is written, this statement appears to be absolutely correct. So correct option is 1 and 3. This was a medium question, keeping into mind this aspect which was being taken. ये दोनों तो फिर भी आप लोग कर लेते. This second statement was more tricky. And of course this is from factual current affair, keeping into mind the entire idea of privileges and ethics which parliamentarians needs to maintain. ये कई बार editorial में आया है, right? So this is the idea. चलो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी टिपिकल, वैसे तो ये हिस्ट्री ले लो, इसको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ले लो, राइट, constitutionalism, the making of constitution, from that only a very typical question. I believe everyone would be able to solve it. Who was the provisional president of Constituent Assembly? And before Dr. Rajendra Prasad took over, so of course the idea is Sachinanand Sinha. So the first Constituent Assembly की meeting कब हुई थी? 9th December 1946. Of course Muslim League ने boycott किया, तो meeting में काफ़ी कम लोग थे. This is the reason. It was an idea that's not been represented in a very wide way. Let's wait for a final Constituent Assembly to come up. 1:1 million के proportion में members को लाया गया. So it was a duly elected body also. Until that time a provincial assembly was being created. Sachinanand Sinha was made the president of that. ठीक है? So this is something which is very easy. और ये हम history में पढ़ते हैं, pure factual in nature. Next is Article 368. So now if you remember, we already have one question on Article 368 saying that which part it caters to. कौन सा part था? हमने अभी अभी पढ़ा. Part 20. Very nice. So now let's read out the question. ये question तो बिल्कुल सीधे सीधे Article 368 से लिया है. So as per Article 368 of the Constitution, Parliament may amend any provision of the Constitution by way of addition, variation, repeal. Addition means when you are adding few ideas, variation means when you are making few changes, and repeal means when you are deleting few aspects. Since Article 368 requires special majority, this is the reason Parliament is a legitimate authority to take forward any of these changes. Either it could go for addition or variation or repeal, and the exact thing is being written in the article also. So article says, notwithstanding anything in this constitution, Parliament may in exercise of its constituent power. जहाँ constituent power आया, question कभी कभी आता, what do you mean by constituent power? Power to make changes, amendment, that is called the constituent power. So Parliament has the constituent power to amend by way of addition, deletion or repeal any of the provision in accordance with procedure laid down in the article. ठीक है? So as per the procedure which is being laid down, of course the Parliament can take forward. So it was a very easy question, factual है, directly आपको किसी भी constitution की book में you can find out this question. Now next is a question. Again, I would say this is a very easy question. क्योंकि money bill, finance bill, whenever we read ordinary bill, constitution amendment bill, इसमें तो you always discuss what is the power of Lok Sabha and what is the power of Rajya Sabha. So the question also deals with that idea only. चलो पढ़ते हैं. Which of the following statement are correct in respect of a money bill in the Parliament? So we all know that related to money bill, there are two articles, 109 and 110. 110 तो define करता है and 109 lays down few of the special provisions which are in respect to money bill. बिल्कुल डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन था तो मैं इसमें ये भी नहीं कह पाऊंगी कि इंटेलिजेंस गेसिंग करो, राइट? सो ऑफ कोर्स फ्यू आर्टिकल्स यू नीड टू रिमेंबर. नाउ यूपीएससी इज गिविंग यू अ हिंट. नेक्स्ट, a money bill shall not be introduced in the Council of State. देखो जैसे मैं यहाँ पर अंडरलाइन कर रही हूँ, ड्यूरिंग एग्जाम यू ऑल्सो डेवलप दिस प्रोसेस. shall not को आपने अंडरलाइन कर दिया एंड देन काउंसिल ऑफ स्टेट्स. काउंसिल ऑफ स्टेट्स का मतलब Rajya Sabha, that is the upper house. So money bill cannot be introduced in Council of States. Correct है? Yes, of course. See, money bill जैसा एक important financial statement है, annual financial statement. Logic भी यही कहता है. It has to be a greater power has to be given to the representatives of the people. और House of People इसीलिए लोकसभा को कहा जाता है. This is the reason money bill की सारी powers और important powers are being provided to Lok Sabha. तो थोड़ा logic से भी you can always figure out. Third, Rajya Sabha can either approve the bill or suggest changes but cannot reject it. Is it correct or not? Yes, it cannot reject it. Last, amendment to a bill suggested by a Rajya Sabha have to be accepted by Lok Sabha? No. So now the correct option has to be C, that is 1, 2, 3. तो idea क्या है? That this money bill is being introduced in the Lok Sabha. Once it is introduced in the Lok Sabha and it gets passed, उसको राज्य सभा भेजा जाता है. We all know बहुत narrow window है राज्य सभा के पास, only of 14 days. उस 14 days में either राज्य सभा can accept the bill, तो it's fine. राज्य सभा can recommend certain changes. It's all up to लोक सभा कि वो changes को accept करे या ना करे, right? However, राज्य सभा cannot reject the money bill, right? तो 14 days की window है, उसमें आप चाहो तो accept कर लो या कुछ recommendation दे दो, but it's entirely up to लोक सभा to accept it or not. So it was a very easy question. It was a pure factual aspect which could easily be taken from any of the constitution book. Now this question, polity के जब हम analysis कर रहे थे, we also found that this is one question which is sort of debatable question, right? So let's figure out कि ये debate किस वजह से था. First of all, as he was also saying, no ma'am, कि context क्या? देखो हर का तो context नहीं है, लेकिन I told you most of the politic question भी context से आए. Like most of the questions आप देख रहे होगे, either they are linked with election or they are linked with parliament, keeping into mind the new Lok Sabha which was supposed to get established. ठीक है? Also, see, this question also has a very important context, और ये बिल्कुल recent context है. कौन बताएगा what is the context? North East Council का what was the recent context? Editorials were also there. ठीक है? So this as in I think April का है शायद 2024 only, our Home Minister, he actually chaired the meeting of NEC. And when he was chairing the meeting of NEC, Manipur CM skipped that meeting. So actually it grabbed the eyeballs, and in most of the weeklies you were finding this idea. This idea also shows that what kind of conflict post-Manipur crisis is still having between center and the state of Manipur. तो क्योंकि ये weeklies में आया था, it was very obvious that this question was to be asked by UPSC. ठीक है? So now let's read out the question. The Northeast Council was established by Northeast Council Act 1961. Subsequent to that, an amendment happened in 2002, and post that amendment, there were certain changes in the composition of the council. ठीक है? तो UPSC आपको already बता रहा है that 1971 में NEC बन गई, 2002 में एक amendment हुआ, and after that few changes happened. So, which of the following members includes the council, that is NEC? So first is governor of the constituent state. Constituent state means the northeast states which are included. तो governor included होंगे कि नहीं होंगे? सिर्फ logic use करके बताओ. होंगे? Governor has to be included. Okay. Chief Minister of the constituent states? Yes, of course. इसीलिए तो मणिपुर का CM skipped. So he is also included. अभी थोड़ा सा आपको लगेगा इस पॉइंट में 3 members to be nominated by the President of India. This is absolutely correct. But again, अगर आप लोग you are just going for an informed guessing, you can keep this option on hold. And fourth is the Home Minister of India. Now the point is कि अगर current news पढ़ी होगी तो you would understand. Right now, of course, the chairman is our Home Minister only, but that chairman is being appointed by the President. वो de facto Home Minister is not the chairman. कुछ coincidence है कि इस बार Home Minister is being made the chairman. And this is the reason they had asked this question, because of this recent controversy which happened when Manipur CM skipped the meeting. ठीक है? So Home Minister of India. So actually Home Minister of India, nowhere in the Act post 2002 it is written that Home Minister would be chairing it. यहीं पर अगर मैं zonal council का idea देती, then you could have come up explicitly with Home Minister. ठीक है? This is the reason they have taken forward. So Home Minister is not there. So 4 option is not, and therefore देखो हमने third option को hold में रखा था. We can always count that option. तो मैं आपसे ये नहीं कह रही हूँ कि इतना डिटेलिंग में याद हो कि 3 मेंबर्स आर नॉमिनेटेड, क्योंकि 3 की फिगर भी थोड़ी डिफरेंट दिखी हमें. दिस इज द रीजन उस ऑप्शन को होल्ड में रखो. ट्राई टू फिगर आउट कि कोई और लीड मुझे किसी क्वेश्चन में यूपीएससी इज गिविंग, बिल्कुल देगा यूपीएससी. सो दिस इज वन लीड विच यूपीएससी हैज गिवन, राइट? And also, after this amendment happened, NEC would now be acting as a regional planning body, especially for Northeast region. तो NER की अब एक regional planning body की capacity से NEC is acting. ठीक है? So 2 changes definitely were there.
Looking for an effective plan to begin your essay mains preparation? Adopt the structured approach of pre-decided themes and develop sharp essay writing skills. Break down complex topics to articulate your thoughts with logic and clarity. Enroll in the Vision IS Essay Enrichment Program starting from 27th June, 1 p.m. Build your essay writing skills into your biggest strength.
Next question. In polity and governance. This is a very straightforward question. So this is regarding the Women Reservation Bill, the Nari Shakti Adhiniyam, and few statements are being asked. पहला statement पढ़ते हैं. Provisions will come into effect from 18th Lok Sabha. Is it correct or not? No. 18th Lok Sabha इतनी जल्दी तो provisions are not going to come up. देखो इसमें भी क्या है, I have taken forward the sources Hindu. अगर उस समय आपने editorial पढ़ा होता, you might have seen that the opposition actually has come up with this idea that this is nothing but an उन्होंने तो बोला election जुमला. Right, the Women Reservation Bill, because they said कि भाई अभी तो हो ही नहीं रहा है, it won't be getting implemented. And then it was from the government side when it came up with this idea, पूरा explanation लिखा है in this particular article that why it cannot be implemented immediately. So it was clearly being written कि ये जो freezing हुई है of the electoral constituency till 2026, this was something which as a legacy governments are taking post 84th constitutional amendment. ठीक है, government अपने support में ये बोल रही थी कि ये हमने तो किया नहीं था. This is a legacy which we are also carrying फॉरवर्ड. तो अभी तो हो गई है फ्रीजिंग 2026 तक. अब उसके बाद डिलिमिटेशन कमीशन होगा, उसके बाद इलेक्टोरल कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज वुड बी रीफिगर्ड एंड देन ओनली 1/3 ऑफ द सीट्स वुड बी देन रिजर्व्ड फॉर द विमेन. तो ये एक्चुअली 2029 तक कहा गया है द आइडिया वुड कम अप. तो अगर आपने उस समय वो कंट्रोवर्सी पढ़ी होती, यू वुड हैव इजीली सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, सो दिस वन स्टेटमेंट इज नॉट करेक्ट. जब हमने वन स्टेटमेंट हटा दिया, सो ऑफ कोर्स 2 and 3 ओनली आर द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. लेट्स रीड. दिस विल कम इनटू फोर्स, विल बी इन फोर्स फॉर 15 years आफ्टर बिकमिंग एन एक्ट. यस, ऑफ कोर्स. Commencement of this act 15 years तक this will be there in force. There are provisions for reservation of seats for SCs, women within the quota reserved for SC, यानी कि सब कोटा रिजर्वेशन तो है. सब रिजर्वेशन, इज देयर एनी ये कंडीशन? यस, ऑफ कोर्स. नहीं भी पता है तो भी सोचो, सब्सटैंटिव जस्टिस के लिए यू आर देयर, यू हैव टू प्रोवाइड दिस सब रिजर्वेशन आइडिया. सो विद इन द टोटल 1/3 सीट्स SC STs के लिए भी सीट्स वुड डेफिनेटली, SCs के लिए भी STs द सीट्स वुड डेफिनेटली बी रिजर्व्ड. एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट आइडिया है एंड वो पूछा नहीं बट इट माइट बी आस्क्ड. द बिल डज नॉट प्रपोज एनी रिजर्वेशन फॉर विमेन इन राज्यसभा और स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल्स. ठीक है, इट्स ओनली एंड ओनली एप्लीकेबल इन लोकसभा, इन स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली एंड नेशनल कैपिटल टेरिटरी ऑफ दिल्ली. So these are 2 more ideas they could have asked, लेकिन नहीं पूछा है because they have asked a even tricky one and this is a very tricky thing. So this is the reason difficulty level वैसे तो easy इसलिए रखा because it was so much into news और logical भी है. 18th लोकसभा तो अभी ये बन गई, कहाँ से women reservation का कोई idea दिख नहीं रहा. So from that logic we could have easily eliminated this option. चलो, let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is again a very straightforward question. Easy भी है, factual भी है. कोई ऐसा context तो मैं नहीं कहूँगी, but this is a very straightforward question dealing with idea of writ jurisdiction. So we all know that Indian Constitution provides us this writ jurisdiction. This is under which article? Article 32. Okay, what is the difference between Article 32 and 226? और कुछ? Yes, 226 is for High Court, 32 is for Supreme Court. 226 का लेकिन jurisdiction is much wider than 32. ये सारे बड़े simple question है. This is मैं क्यों आपके सामने revise कर रही हूँ कि आप भी घर जाके when you are making forward these ideas, don't stick to one particular idea. अब writ jurisdiction आ गया तो उसी समय I will open the book and I will start reading or revising about the writ jurisdiction. तो हमेशा वो idea दिमाग में रहेंगे. So we know we have few writs like habeas corpus. Habeas corpus means to bring the body. This means unlawful detention हुआ है, so it has to be brought before the court. Second is mandamus. Mandamus कहता है command करना. मैं mandamus क्यों बोल रही हूँ? Because opposite to mandamus is prohibition, जिसके ऊपर question आया. तो mandamus कहता है public authority को कि काम करो, काम क्यों नहीं किया. Prohibition कहता है ना ना ज़्यादा काम नहीं करना, don't exceed beyond your jurisdiction, confine yourself within your own domain, and this is what is called prohibition. Then of course prohibition के बाद हम पढ़ते हैं certiorari. Prohibition में आपको प्रोहिबिट कर रहे हैं, सर्चुररी में पूरा पूरा डिसीजन ही क्वैश हो जा रहा है. एंड देन लास्ट इज क्यो वारंटो. क्यो वारंटो मींस विद व्हाट लीगल अथॉरिटी यू आर होल्डिंग अ पब्लिक ऑफिस. ठीक है, सो दीज आर फ्यू ऑफ द रिट जुरिसडिक्शन. चलो रिट ऑफ प्रोहिबिशन देखेंगे. इट इज एन ऑर्डर इशूड बाय सुप्रीम कोर्ट और अ हाई कोर्ट टू first a government officer prohibiting him from taking a particular action. Is it would be correct or not? Prohibiting him from taking a particular action, इसमें है government officer. No. Prohibition certiorari ये judiciary का sphere आता है या quasi judiciary bodies. They have nothing to do with this kind of government legislative bodies or executive bodies. So this option therefore is not correct. So writ jurisdiction is issued by Supreme Court to the Parliament or Legislative Assembly to pass a law. No, I told you ये legislative sphere का action ही नहीं है, so not. The lower court prohibiting continuation of proceedings in a case. Yes. Because if Supreme Court is feeling कि lower court अपने jurisdiction से ज़्यादा कुछ कर रहा है, it can stop the lower court as far as the proceeding of the case is concerned. So I am finding this option to be correct, but still I will read the next option. The government, it is order issued to the government prohibiting it from following an unconstitutional policy. No. इसको याद करने का बस एक ही आइडिया है. इट हैज़ नथिंग टू डू विथ लेजिस्लेटिव और द एग्जीक्यूटिव स्पेस. इट हैज़ टू डू विद द जुडिशियल स्पेस और कोजाई जुडिशियल स्पेस. ठीक है, तो ऑप्शन जुडिशियल स्पेस का सिर्फ ये था. सो करेक्ट ऑप्शन वुड बी सी ओनली. इट्स अ वेरी इजी फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन डायरेक्टली कमिंग अप फ्रॉम द बेयर्स एक्ट और एनी ऑफ द बेयर बुक. चलो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सी इस क्वेश्चन को पढ़ने के पहले व्हेन वी वर हैविंग दिस ओपन सेशंस ऑन प्रीएम्बल प्रीलिम्स, आई टोल्ड यू, और वैसे भी फॉर टेस्ट डिस्कशन आई कीप टेलिंग स्टूडेंट, इलेक्शंस, आरपीए, SC, STs, their ideas, that is the subaltern category, any kind of ICT intervention, environment, climate change, women, these are one of the most sorted genre. और आप देखोगे पॉलिटी में 2-3 questions are following from this genre. Local urban bodies means anything which is dealing with grassroots, anything which is dealing with substantive justice idea becomes important. तो grassroots से related देखो आपका PRI आ गया, elections पे question आए हैं, parliament पे question आए हैं. Now a question has come up on the criteria for recognizing a particular community as scheduled tribe. Let's read out the question. Which of the following statement are correct? सबसे पहले तो यहीं से शुरुआत करनी चाहिए क्योंकि कई बार यहाँ करेक्ट इनकरेक्ट पूछ लेते हैं. सो डोंट बी इन अ हरी टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन. सो नाउ वील रीड द 2 स्टेटमेंट. फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट, इट इज द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ द स्टेट, मैंने अंडरलाइन किया, who recognizes and declare any community of that state as scheduled tribe. Government of the state. क्या लगता है? गवर्नमेंट ऑफ द स्टेट, पहली बात तो ये आइडिया ही बड़ा वेग है. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ द स्टेट मीन्स व्हाट? भाई if you talk about government of state or government of India, keeping into mind we have a parliamentary setup, there we have president also at the center and governor also at the state as the jure head, and then you have either prime minister or chief minister. तो कुछ तो idea specific देना चाहिए था. From that logic also I am not finding this statement to be correct, right? So what would be the correct statement? यहाँ government of state नहीं होगा, यहाँ होगा president, right? So this is under Article 342. President may, with respect to any state or UT, in consultation of course with governor. Governor का बिल्कुल consultation होगा. Specify tribes or tribal communities as ST. This is what article directly is saying. अगर article नहीं भी याद था, from the logic also this idea is not looking absolutely correct. ठीक है? Next statement. A community declared as scheduled tribe in a state need not be so in another state. क्या लगता है ये statement? It is fine. See, UPSC बहुत strong भी नहीं दे रहा है, एक subtle सा argument दे रहा है, possibility, benefit of doubt भी दे रहा है. It need not be in another state. So of course this is an idea correct. एक जगह के ट्राइब्स दूसरे जगह में शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब्स की कैटेगरी में शायद ना आए. सो दिस आइडिया अपीयर्स टू बी एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. सो विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट? वी विल से 2 ओनली. सो इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन. मीडियम इसलिए था क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ स्टेट और प्रेसिडेंट में कंफ्यूज होते, लेकिन अगर इस तरह से अंडरलाइन करके स्टेटमेंट धीरे धीरे पढ़ोगे, आई एम श्योर इफ यू इवन डोंट नो दिस इज प्रेसिडेंट, तो एटलीस्ट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ द स्टेट में तो डेफिनेटली यू वुड क्रिएट अ डाउट. क्योंकि नोवेयर एवर यू हैव, जितना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पढ़ा, कहीं पर आपने गवर्नमेंट ऑफ द स्टेट नहीं लिखा. लीस्ट केस में गवर्नर फिर भी कहीं देख लिया आपने, वेयर द स्पेशल प्रोविजंस आर बीन देयर अंडर 3571, बट एटलीस्ट यू हैव नॉट फाउंड गवर्नमेंट ऑफ द स्टेट. हाँ जी, तो गवर्नर भी नहीं है इन दैट लॉजिक ऑल्सो. अगर ठीक है, इसमें अगर इसमें गवर्नर लिखा है, इफ इट इज बीन प्रिंटेड गवर्नर, फॉर दैट लॉजिक ऑल्सो दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट. वही तो मैं कह ही रही हूं. सो आइदर इट हैज टू बी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ द स्टेट भी लिखा या गवर्नर भी लिखा. इन बोथ द 2 केसेस दिस आइडिया इज एक्चुअली नॉट वर्किंग, राइट? चलो, नेक्स्ट वी आर मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सो नेक्स्ट इज, ओके, सी, सिंस मे बी पेपर भी उसी समय बना है when the budget has come up, है ना? This is the reason question on money bill has also come up. Question on something regarding the financial proceedings have also been asked in the parliament. देखते हैं ये question. It's a very easy question, factual है, directly from this constitution book, with reference to the union budget. So the first statement, which of the following statement is correct? So the first statement says, यूनियन फिनेंस मिनिस्टर ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ प्राइम मिनिस्टर. मैं अंडरलाइन कर रही हूँ, यूनियन फिनेंस मिनिस्टर ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ प्राइम मिनिस्टर लेज द एनुअल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट बिफोर बोथ द हाउसेज ऑफ द पार्लियामेंट. क्या इशू इसमें लग रहा है? आर यू फाइंडिंग इशू विद यूनियन फिनेंस मिनिस्टर और यू आर फाइंडिंग इशू विद प्राइम मिनिस्टर? Prime Minister, right? So of course Article 112 says President of India shall cause to be laid before both houses of the parliament the annual financial statement, and the Union Finance Minister would present the budget on the behalf of the President. So of course it can't be Prime Minister, it has to be President. See, I told you Constitution में Prime Minister आपको hardly दिखेंगे in any of these kind of ideas, keeping into mind that Prime Minister enjoys that area which is dealing with idea of collective responsibility. ठीक है? And this is the reason, because we are in a parliamentary setup, continuity लाने के लिए president is being made. इसीलिए मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर, लेजिस्लेटिव पावर, फाइनेंशियल पावर all lies at least on books in the hand of president. Though we definitely know that president to that extent does not enjoy the de facto function, so somewhere he works in aid and advice with the council of minister as per article 75. ठीक है? तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर तो आपको कहीं पे भी नहीं दिखेगा, so definitely this is not the correct statement, so this statement is not correct. At the union level, no demand for grant can be made except on the recommendation of the President of India. This is absolutely correct. Demand for grant means any kind of grant which the ministries, departments are raising. So if you are making any kind of demand for taking some kind of grants, definitely recommendation of President is required. फिर से वही logic है, President is considered to be the elected head. तो literally, notionally ये माना जा रहा है कि अगर demand of ग्रांट भी हो रहा है तो शायद वो हमारे रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ही उसको रेकमेंड कर रहे हैं, राइट? सो सम काइंड ऑफ अकाउंटेबिलिटी आइडिया टू बी इंक्लूडेड इनटू अ डेमोक्रेटिक सेटअप, दिस काइंड ऑफ आइडिया इज टेकन. सो सेकंड वुड बी द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. नेक्स्ट इज अगेन लोकसभा के स्पीकर के ऊपर क्वेश्चन है. लेट्स रीड आउट द क्वेश्चन. बहुत सिंपल क्वेश्चन है. विथ रेफरेंस टू द स्पीकर ऑफ द लोकसभा, कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट. स्पीकर है लोकसभा का, राज्यसभा का चेयरमैन कौन है? वाइस प्रेसिडेंट. ठीक है, गुड. नाउ देर आर टू स्टेटमेंट्स, फ्यू स्टेटमेंट्स विच आर रिटन. सो while any resolution for removal of the speaker of Lok Sabha is under consideration, यानी मेरे दिमाग में आया कुछ तो removal of speaker के ऊपर question है. He, she shall not preside. बताओ, डोंट लुक इनटू दैट आइडिया, आपको लॉजिकली क्या लगता है? एंड विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट आर करेक्ट? हमें करेक्ट देखना है. सपोज आप किसी को रिमूव कर रहे हैं, सो अगर उसके रिमूवल की प्रोसीडिंग हो रही है तो वुड दैट पर्सन प्रिसाइड कि चलो आज मेरे ही रिमूवल की प्रोसेस मैं ही शुरुआत करता हूं? कैन दिस हैपन? नो. फ्रॉम दैट लॉजिक ऑल्सो दिस इज एक्चुअली नॉट द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. सो सॉरी, करेक्ट ऑप्शन बिकॉज ही शैल नॉट प्रिसाइड. ठीक है. ही और शी शैल नॉट हैव द राइट टू स्पीक. स्पीक का राइट ही नहीं दे रहे हैं. शैल नॉट हैव, नॉट के ऊपर मैंने टिक किया है. नॉट हैव द राइट टू स्पीक मतलब स्पीक मतलब द पावर टू रिप्रेजेंट योर सेल्फ, टू पुट फॉरवर्ड योर व्यू. क्या ये पावर भी आप किसी स्पीकर को नहीं दोगे? राइट. सो दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट. इन दैट वे दिस स्टेटमेंट इज नॉट करेक्ट. ही shall not be entitled to vote on the resolution in the first instance. ये स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट है कि फॉल्स है? फॉल्स. बिकॉज यू सी, देखो स्पीकर जब उसके स्पीकर इन इंडिया, एक यूके में एक बात बोली जाती है, वंस अ स्पीकर ऑलवेज अ स्पीकर. बट एज फार एज इंडियन स्पीकर इज कंसर्न, दिस इज नॉट एन आइडिया. यूके में जो वंस अ स्पीकर ऑलवेज अ स्पीकर का आइडिया है वो ये है दैट व्हेन दैट वन पर्टिकुलर पर्सन हैज बिकम अ स्पीकर, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ही कांट बी सो इजली रिमूव्ड until the parliament gets dissolved or somehow he resigns, whatever. And also this person is completely cut off from all kind of political activities, यानी कि वो अपनी पार्टी जहां से affiliation है उसको छोड़ देता है. So once a speaker always a speaker, this ensures objectivity and neutrality in the parliamentary proceeding. In India, however, this is not the logic. The person somehow, if he resigns, gets removed or he is out from the post, he again join back the party. ठीक है. So from that logic, if you can find, you would find कि at least वो member तो है ही, and when he is the member, of course, he would be getting the right. And being the speaker तो हमको पता ही है, speaker do have, अभी तक remove नहीं हुआ है वो, है ना? So till he is not being removed, he is a speaker, और speaker को casting vote का right मिलता है. Right? So definitely first instance में he shall not be entitled to vote on the resolution in first instance. This is not correct, right? तो चलो पढ़ते हैं. When a resolution for removal of speaker is under consideration, he cannot preside the meeting of the house, though he may be present. However, he can speak, he can take part at such kind of proceedings, and he can also vote in the first instance, though not in case of equality of vote. तो अगर कोई स्पीकर की हैसियत से अगर वो है एंड समथिंग इज हैपन, तब आप कास्टिंग वोट करोगे. अगर उसके अगेंस्ट ही कोई रेजोल्यूशन है तो नॉर्मल लेजिस्लेचर की तरह फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस में ही हैज बीन गिवन दिस अथॉरिटी टू वोट ऑल्सो, क्योंकि ही इज नॉट बीन रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम द हाउस मेंबरशिप पर से, है ना? हाउस में तो वो अभी भी है. ओके, अब ये मुझे बताओ, रिमूवल ऑफ द स्पीकर ऑफ लोकसभा है, व्हाट इज द टाइप ऑफ मेजॉरिटी on the basis of which he or she gets removed? Effective majority. What do you mean by effective majority? Majority of द देन मेंबर्स प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग, ठीक है, द देन आ जाता है. सो दिस इज अगेन अनदर आइडिया विच कैन कम अप, ठीक है. चलो, सो डिफिकल्टी लेवल वॉज ईजी एक्चुअली. हाँ जी. See, if there is, क्या बोला मैंने, at the time first instance में he can always remove, he can always vote. casting vote में he is not there, क्योंकि वो तो उसी के removal के लिए हो रहा है ना. अगर उसी के removal के लिए वोट हो रहा है, how can he would be the casting? नहीं तो वो अपने फेवर पे नहीं वोट कर लेगा. आप लॉजिक लगाओ, उसके अगेंस्ट वोटिंग चल रही है, इक्वलिटी हो गई, तो डू यू थिंक कि वो अपने अगेंस्ट वोट करेगा? तो उसको अगर ऐसा नहीं करेगा, दिस इज द रीजन ही इज नॉट बीइंग प्रोवाइडेड दिस आइडिया टू गिव वोट इन दैट सेंस, ठीक है. फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस में होगा, दो नॉट इन द केस ऑफ इक्वलिटी ऑफ वोट. ये भी लॉजिक ही है, क्योंकि मिल जाएगा तो वो अपने ही फेवर पे वोट करेगा ना, अपने अगेंस्ट थोड़ी करेगा, ठीक है. चले, हाँ जी. अच्छा, इन केस द बोथ द वोट्स गेट टाइड एंड, अच्छा स्पीकर के वोट के बाद भी यू आर सेइंग द वोट गेट्स टाइड, सो मस्ट बी द कमिटी देन, द एंटायर द रूल ऑफ प्रोसीजर कमिटी दैट वुड डिसाइड देन, व्हाट एल्स, है ना. चलो, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सो वी आर वेरी नियर फिनिशिंग पॉलिटी एंड गवर्नेंस क्वेश्चन. एक ये क्वेश्चन है रिगार्डिंग, हाँ, बिल स्पेंडिंग. चलो, बिल स्पेंडिंग पे क्वेश्चन करेंगे. विथ रेफरेंस टू इंडियन पार्लियामेंट कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट. नाउ ये क्वेश्चन इजी इसलिए लिखा क्योंकि इसको हम लॉजिक से कर सकते हैं. सो डोंट रिमेंबर, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं, आराम से पढ़ लेना, बट सपोज आपने नहीं पढ़ा, हाउ यू कैन सॉल्व. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट? द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट. So suppose with reference to Indian Parliament, there is the dissolution of Lok Sabha lapses. तो question है, bill pending in the Lok Sabha lapses on its dissolution. Is this statement correct or not? लोकसभा पे ही वो बिल है एंड नाउ लोकसभा डिसॉल्व्स, तो ऑफ कोर्स अब वो बिल कहाँ से होगा? नेक्स्ट टाइम इट कैन ऑफ कोर्स बी रीइंट्रोड्यूस इन द न्यूली कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड लोकसभा, अगर वो लोकसभा कहती है तो, राइट. सो दिस फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट देयरफॉर अपीयर्स टू बी करेक्ट. सेकंड, अ बिल पास्ड बाय लोकसभा एंड पेंडिंग इन राज्यसभा लैप्सेस ऑन द डिसोल्यूशन ऑफ लोकसभा. ये बताओ. So a bill is passed by Lok Sabha, it's still pending in Rajya Sabha, and then Lok Sabha has dissolved. So in that case, since it has somehow touched the premise of Lok Sabha, logic ऐसे ही कर लो, वो लोक सभा से छूती हुई गई है, it has been passed, this is the reason this particular statement also appears to be correct. Third statement देखते हैं. A bill in regard to which President of India notified his or her intention to summon the houses for a joint sitting lapses on the dissolution of Lok Sabha. इसमें 2 पॉइंट्स इंपॉर्टेंट है. प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने जॉइंट सिटिंग के लिए बुलाया था एंड देयर वर फ्यू ऑफ द बिल्स विच वर देयर सपोज्ड टू बी डिस्कस एंड लोकसभा गेट्स डिसॉल्व. सो दे आर आस्किंग कि क्या जॉइंट सिटिंग में जो बिल्स गए दे वुड ऑल्सो डिसॉल्व. सो डेफिनेटली नो, दिस इज नॉट द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. लॉजिकली यूज करो. सी दिस, अगर ऐसा होता इट कुड हैव बीन अ ग्रेट, यू कैन से, डेंट टू द इमेज ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट पर से, कि उन्होंने, उनको लगा कि जॉइंट सिटिंग कब होती है, व्हेन यू फील, प्रेसिडेंट फील्स दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर बिल इज ऑफ अटमोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंस. अब ये प्रेसिडेंट फील कर रहे हैं अटमोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, लेकिन आपने लोकसभा डिसॉल्व करके बिल को ही लैप्स कर दिया. सो फ्रॉम दैट लॉजिक ऑल्सो यू वुड से दिस स्टेटमेंट इज नॉट करेक्ट. सो द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट वुड बी 1 and 2. In that way it is quite a easy option. Few more ideas I have written with this highlighted red portion. Kindly go back home and read. There could be some few more questions which can be asked. देखो, most of the question has been asked on parliament. ये question है on the entire idea of adjournment, prorogation, termination. ठीक है? Let's read out. With reference to the Parliament of India, consider the following statement. Which of the following statement is correct? First statement है, prorogation of a house by the president does not require the advice of council of ministers. Does not prorogation. अगर नहीं भी आता है तो ट्रिक अपना लेना. does not है, try to think twice. क्वेश्चन में लिखा है इट विल नॉट रिक्वायर एडवाइस ऑफ काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर. कर कौन रहा है? प्रेसिडेंट. आई टोल्ड यू आर्टिकल 75 क्या कहता है? प्रेसिडेंट हैज टू एक्ट ऑलवेज. क्योंकि पता है प्रेसिडेंट और गवर्नर के बीच में भी गवर्नर एंजॉयज ग्रेटर डिस्क्रिशनरी पावर देन प्रेसिडेंट. प्रेसिडेंट फॉर दैट मैटर इज नॉट हैविंग मच डिस्क्रिशनरी पावर. तो हाउ कम प्रेसिडेंट विल हैव अ डिस्क्रिशनरी पावर इन दैट रिगार्ड? सो फ्रॉम दैट लॉजिक ऑल्सो वी कैन डेफिनेटली निगेट दिस स्टेटमेंट. अगर फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट को कैंसिल करेंगे वी आर कमिंग टू द 2 स्टेटमेंट 2 and 3. तो लेट्स फाइंड आउट. इसमें 3 ऑप्शंस तो दोनों में ही सेम है. मैं तो आप लोगों को ऐसी बता रही हूँ, अगर एग्जाम में नहीं आया तो हाउ वी कैन फाइंड आउट. दिस मीन्स 3 ऑप्शन मेरे लिए सेफ ऑप्शन था. सो माई नाउ पॉइंट इज ऑन सेकेंड ऑप्शन. देखते हैं. प्रोरोगेशन ऑफ अ हाउस इज जनरली डन आफ्टर द हाउस इज एडजर्न साइन डाई, but there is no bar to the President of India prorogating the house which is in session. पहले हम समझते हैं ये, then we will be finding out this idea. See, under Article 85, the President may from time to time prorogue the House or either House of the Parliament, and such prorogation definitely would involve advice of COM. Now you see, एक session चल रहा है and because of certain reason that session get adjourned, right? Adjournment थोड़े समय के लिए भी हो सकता है. Adjournment could be sine and die. So now termination of a session of a house by an order of a president under the above constitutional provision is called prorogation, and prorogation normally follows adjournment of a sitting house sine and die. यानी अगर थोड़े समय के लिए एडजर्नमेंट है तो उसके बाद प्रोरोगेशन नहीं होगा. सपोज एडजर्नमेंट हैज बीन साइन डाई, राइट? साइन डाई मीन्स टाइम इज नॉट बीन रिटन. तो जनरली आफ्टर दैट prorogation happens. Prorogation is generally be made by an order of the president, but president can prorogue the house when the house is in session too. So it's not necessary सिर्फ sign die adjournment के बाद ही prorogation होगा. If president feels during the session also, he can of course prorogue. Dissolution, of course, we know when the entire Lok Sabha is not able to enjoy the confidence. So again, this third statement क्या कह रहा है? Dissolution of Lok Sabha is done by the President of India. बिल्कुल सही. Who except in exceptional circumstances does so on the advice of Council of Minister. ये एक narrow space है जिसमें कहते हैं President can enjoy discretionary function. बस इसी space में. But in most of the cases इसमें भी president is not able to enjoy discretionary power. So most of the cases में COM ही उनको advise कर देते हैं कि very soon I am going to lose the confidence. तो आप लोकसभा को dissolve कर दो, right? So this was quite a easy question. From this elimination trick also you could have easily solved this question. So in this way we have come up to the end of polity and governance question, except just for few questions जैसे NEC वगैरह के questions थे जो काफ़ी, या CDS का question which has come up from some contemporary context. You would not find polity coming up from something which has been very much into news or current affairs, though because elections, parliament, लोकल गवर्नमेंट आर ऑलवेज इंपॉर्टेंट, तो उन्होंने अपने इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शन से ही क्वेश्चन लिए हैं. मेजर टेक अवेज क्या होंगे? दिस सेक्शन वाज रिलेटिवली इजी. आई एम होपिंग द कट ऑफ वुड बी फाइन. मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस आर ऑन कन्वेंशनल टॉपिक. आप लोगों के लिए मैंने बता दिया कन्वेंशनल टॉपिक हमेशा इलेक्शन करेंगे, आरपीए अच्छे से करेंगे, अर्बन लोकल बॉडी, स्पेशली अर्बन लोकल बॉडी, क्योंकि रूरल लोकल बॉडीज जनरली यू पीपल गो विथ, अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज हम छोड़ देते हैं. सो अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज बिकम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. विमेन रिलेटेड एनीथिंग बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. SC ST बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? Paper tested candidates knowledge of fundamental principles, constitutional provisions. This time हम लोग articles, parts को थोड़ा देखेंगे, definitely schedules. This trend suggests that aspirants should continue to prioritize understanding the constitution, its key amendment. तो concepts को तो बिल्कुल लेके चलना, because you never know कि अगले साल when you people are coming up, what kind of turn UPSC can take up. But UPSC ने एक idea बिल्कुल बता दिया कि every time I am not going with the same pace. ठीक है? Now the second important section which we are going to discuss is issues of internal security. Two questions have come up. Both these two questions were very much into current affairs. ठीक है? So now this was a question which was so much into news. Let's first of all solve the question. Operation undertaken by the army towards upliftment of local population in remote areas to include addressing of their basic needs is called. See, if you must have gone through this entire redevelopment and the humanitarian phase which Indian Army and Indian state is portraying or projecting or taking forward in state of in UT of J&K, you might have come across this operation. ठीक है? Exact answer तो है Operation Sadbhavna. So this is one operation जो humanitarian assistance दे रहा है as far as especially the Ladakh area is concerned. बहुत news में आया था. ठीक है? Post abrogation of Article 370, of course Indian state wants to integrate the population. ये assimilation integration involves definitely these kind of humanitarian assistance. अभी suppose आपको ये idea नहीं पता था, how can we take forward the elimination technique? Now Operation Sankalp, tell me, have you heard about Operation Sankalp? अब नहीं ही कुछ पढ़ा है तब तो प्रॉब्लम ही है इस क्वेश्चन में. So Operation Sankalp has come up into news last year also, early this year also, when there was a Bulgarian vessel which was being rescued by Indian Navy. पढ़ा था न्यूज़ में, wherein the Bulgarian ambassador also gave a congratulatory message to India. ठीक है? So from that point Operation Sankalp was into news. So Operation Sankalp ये मेंस में बिल्कुल पढ़ाते हैं. This is the reason मेंस को प्री के पहले मेंस की पढ़ाई कर लो. Operation Sankalp of course is, you can say, HADR as well as security related operation which India has been carrying forward since 2019. ये last year शुरू नहीं हुआ था, 2019 में शुरू हुआ था, in the area which includes Indian Ocean region. ठीक है? This is also a very important aspect of Sagar initiative, or you can say Sagar program or Sagar diplomacy which we have taken up. ठीक है? Recently it has come up into news because it has just now completed 100 days post जब ये नवंबर से vessel rescue हुई है और अभी. ठीक है? This is the reason it has come up. So Operation Sankalp therefore it was into news. Gulf of Aden में ये काफ़ी operate हो रहा है. हमारे पास एक map work है. I'll tell you, Gulf of Aden is one area. IOR का part है, inflicting highly by piracy. ठीक है? Next is Operation Maitri. Operation Maitri कहाँ पर सुना है कुछ? इंडो? इज इट इंडो श्रीलंका और कुछ और बताओ? इज इट सारी कंट्रीज नेबरहुड में कोई ना कोई तो होंगी ही. So this is basically the Operation Maitri is between India and Nepal, right? So Nepal has been inflicted with earthquake quite lot. So this is one kind of HADR assistance which we have been provided. और ये सारी चीजें हम discuss करते हैं when we discuss India and neighborhood during our mains preparation also. Okay. Next is Operation Sadbhavna. Next is Operation Madat. What is this Operation Madat? Yes, this is a naval exercise, or you can again say HADR. ये न्यूज़ में क्यों आया था? Last year केरला में बहुत ज़बरदस्त flood था, and at that time Operation Madat came into news. So Operation Madat is an Indian Navy operation, and Operation Madat was also into news when there was tsunami, and when in the entire space of IOR again Indian Navy was helping, right? So if you know these other options, then also with elimination you could have solved this question. So it was quite into factual into news, और मैंने आपको न्यूज़ की headings भी दे रखी हैं from where you can derive. Next is again, this is again very much into news. So this was Mitra Shakti, and this is an exercise conducted in November, I believe, November 2023. This is the reason बहुत contemporary है. So let's find out which of the following statements are correct. First, this was a joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh. Correct है कि false है? Incorrect. तो क्या है फिर? Correct option is Sri Lanka. Yes. So this exercise was conducted with Sri Lanka. This is one kind of exercise जिसको आप capacity building exercise कहते हैं. So this is one idea of capacity building where India is trying to build across the capacity of other country also. ये सारे idea सागर initiative के अंदर you can write in your mains, right? It got, so this option is not correct. अगर one is not correct, obviously UPSC has given you a lead कि 2, 3, 4 would be correct. चलो पढ़ते हैं 2, 3, 4. It commenced in Pune, yes of course. Joint response during counter-terrorism operation was a goal, yes of course. Indian Air Force was part of this exercise. You see, ये पहली बार हुआ. वैसे तो generally it's Indian Air Force is not being taken up, but this was the first time when Indian Air Force was also made part to it. So एक तरह से bilateral service exercise it happened. So this is the reason Indian Air Force इन्होंने categorically लिखा है. So even if you know this is not an exercise between India and Bangladesh, you could have evaded this. The last section would be international relations. Not much questions have been asked this time. But what all questions have been asked, those questions were very much into news and we were expecting them to be asked. The first question is, consider the following pairs. So these are few of the pairs which they have given. And we have to figure out how many of the pairs are correctly matched. So with Argentina, they have written worst economic crisis. So last year हमने देखा है, there had been few of the countries which have undergone a serious economic crisis, and of course Argentina was one of the country. Second is Sudan. Sudan has been in news not only for malnourishment, जो कि काफ़ी news में था, but also because of the supposed war or the civil war which is been happening. So in that case, this war between the country's regular and paramilitary forces, some kind of civil war situation. Third, Turkey rescinded its membership of NATO. Rescinded का मतलब क्या होता है? Right, somehow I am giving up. So do you think Turkey has given up its membership from NATO? No. So from that case, third option is not correct. So the correct option would be only two pairs. अब जहाँ Turkey आया है वहाँ देखेंगे. You see, कहते हैं Turkey right now is suffering, is acting somehow like, in fact, Turkey तो suffer कर रहा है from diplomatic dilemma reason, because Turkey has its alienation towards Russia also. Turkey being part of NATO, जो कि उसने 1950s में ही join कर लिया था, it do have to support the aims and objectives of NATO also. तो एक तरफ वो रशिया की तरफ heavily dependent है for all kind of gas supplies and for region also, क्योंकि don't forget that region is this Eurasian region, ठीक है? On the other hand, it has already joined NATO. इसीलिए you would find the Black Sea Grain Initiative, Turkey was the mediator. था कि नहीं? यूक्रेन और रशिया के बीच में टर्की वॉज द मीडिएटर. सो इट्स मेनी अ टाइम्स इट इज़ बीन कंसिडर्ड. कहा जा रहा है कि कीपिंग इन टू माइंड द बायस जो टर्की रशिया की तरफ दे रहा है, मेनी थिंकर्स से कि टर्की को नेटो की मेंबरशिप छोड़ देनी चाहिए, बट समहाउ इट इज स्टिल देयर. अब बताओ नेटो में हाउ मेनी मेंबर कंट्रीज आर देयर राइट नाउ? 32. व्हाट इज द लेटेस्ट एडिशन? स्वीडन हैज नॉट बीन एडेड येट. लेटेस्ट क्या है? फिनलैंड. वेरी नाइस. अगर मैं ये बोलूं कि नेटो इज सेलिब्रेटिंग 75th एनिवर्सरी दिस ईयर, तो इट वुड बी करेक्ट और नॉट? यस. When was NATO created? 1949. These are few of the ideas. जैसे ही NATO आएगा आप कुछ factual aspect लिखोगे. See, before we finish this session, IR में भी दो aspects होते हैं. One is a static aspect, one is a current aspect. Static aspect includes static information about organizations. जैसे NATO का है, SCO का है, G20 was in news. So, like G20 कब बना? So 1999. Why it came up? Because of the Asian financial crisis. These kind of ideas also remember. So IR also includes static ideas, though this time they have not asked about the static question. Next is this question. बहुत news में था, so we do have a map work also for you to understand. Let's find out the question. Sumed pipeline is a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipment to Europe. Is this statement correct or not? Yes, this statement is absolutely correct. Sumet pipeline connects the Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea. This is also absolutely correct. So now why this particular pipeline was into news? So correct option would be A, that is both statement is correct and second is the perfect answer for the first. Jaldi se dekhenge this particular map work. If you could find this map, you would find there is this Suez Canal and there is this Sumed pipeline. Then you have this Red Sea and then you have the Mediterranean Sea. Suez Canal, of course, हम कहते हैं वो canal है, highly congested और historical उसका baggage है. It is considered to be a vital link between Asia and Europe as far as supplies are concerned, ठीक है? But this side also you have a pipeline. This is not a canal, this is a pipeline. This is called the Sumed pipeline. Egypt के अंदर है. Now this is the entire Sinai Peninsula जो Egypt का है. This is the reason Egypt को transcontinental country कहते हैं because पूरा Egypt falls into which continent? Africa, and it is this Sinai Peninsula which is falling in the Asia region. Now one point, ये question news में क्यों था? Reason because of the Red Sea deniability which was taken forward by Houthis rebels, जो Shiite militants हैं which are being backed by Iran, ठीक है? ये idea was so much into news, we were expecting this kind of question to come up. So now this is one very important choke point. कौन सा choke point है ये? This is called Bab al-Mandab. ठीक है, so this is Gulf of Aden, this is Red Sea, this is Gulf Bab al-Mandab. What is this choke point? Strait of Hormuz. Very nice, Strait of Hormuz. ये सारे points करेंगे. There is another very important choke point, Strait of Malacca, between which two countries? Indonesia and Singapore, where it rising in Iowa region, ठीक है? So this is the idea you can always frame out. जब भी कभी question आगा, हो सकता है question आ जाए, Strait of Hormuz is connecting which two bodies? यहाँ है Persian Gulf, उस तरफ क्या है? Gulf of? इधर क्या है? Gulf of Oman. Gulf of Arab, ये क्या है? Gulf of Oman. चलो. So this is, I believe, the last question or the second last. ये है पूरा का पूरा. This is quite a factual kind of question, but you can easily logically solve this question. पहला statement is India is a member of International Grain Council. Logic क्या कहता है? Will India be a member? Yes, India would be a member. ठीक है? देखो इंडिया ना मोस्ट ऑफ द नॉन कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस मल्टीलैटरल फोरम का मेंबर है. जो कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल है उसमें इंडिया इज नॉट द पार्ट, जैसे नेटो में, नेटो प्लस में इंडिया इज नॉट द पार्ट. बट ऑफ कोर्स ये इसमें कुछ कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल नहीं लग रहा था, मुझे नहीं पता है, फिर भी आई कैन गो फॉरवर्ड. सो इंडिया इज अ मेंबर. सेकेंड देखो, सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट सेज अ कंट्री नीड्स टू बी अ मेंबर. डिटर्मिनिस्टिक स्टेटमेंट है, नीड्स टू बी अ मेंबर ऑफ इंटरनेशनल ग्रेन काउंसिल फॉर एक्सपोर्टिंग एंड इंपोर्टिंग राइस एंड व्हीट. ऐसा ऑब्लिगेशन डू यू थिंक एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कैन पुट ऑन एनी कंट्री? मोस्ट ऑफ द कंट्रीज, अभी अभी हमने देखा सूडान इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम सच फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस. पूरा सालेह रीजन, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन सालेह रीजन के ऊपर है, एंटायर रीजन इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम माल नरिशमेंट, फूड क्राइसिस. ये कंडीशन तो बिल्कुल नहीं हो सकती. दिस इज द रीजन आई डोंट थिंक दिस स्टेटमेंट वुड बी करेक्ट. सो करेक्ट ऑप्शन वुड बी वन ओनली. तो इसका मतलब अगर नहीं भी पढ़ा है विथ लॉजिकल रीजनिंग यू कैन ऑलवेज गो फॉरवर्ड, राइट? द लास्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ टुडेज डिस्कशन. अभी भी लास्ट नहीं है. सो दिस इज अ क्वेश्चन सलेह रीजन के ऊपर है. पहले एक बार रीजन भी देख लेते हैं. सो दिस इज समहाउ, ये रीजन कौन सा है देखो, दिस इज दिस समहाउ द सेमी एरिड, जो एक ये रीजन है पूरा अफ्रीका का, समवेयर इन द नदर्न पोर्शन. तो ये एरिड डेजर्ट या सेमी एरिड डेजर्ट का पूरा रीजन है. एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस नाउ द क्वेश्चन हैज कम अप. पहले लोकेशन देखेंगे फिर क्वेश्चन देखेंगे. One statement is saying there is instability and worsening security situation in the Sahel region. Is it correct or not? Yes, of course. A region which does not have good economic setup definitely is inviting security implications or issues. Second statement is there have been military takeovers or coup in several countries of the Sahel region. Yes, of course, this region includes countries such as Chad, such as Sudan. देखो यूपीएससी ने आपको सूडान पर पहले ही क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया था जिसमें आपने बड़ा बड़ा टिक कर दिया कि yes there is a military issue there. So now indirectly UPSC already is giving you a lead कि देखो सूडान पे मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा है, that statement is also correct. So with that logic also you can take forward this idea that yes, both the two statement is correct and second is the correct explanation of the first statement. So now this last question of today's idea, पूरा का पूरा thoroughly I have written it difficult. अभी तक मैंने ज़्यादा किसी को difficult नहीं लिखा था, but this question I have written it difficult because it's core factual question, right? And I completely understand it becomes really difficult for you people to read and learn also each and every organization. So ये World Toilet Organization के ऊपर है statement. The first statement is it is one of the agencies of UN. So this statement, of course, I can keep on hold also. So I'm keeping it on hold. मैं second statement पढ़ रही हूँ. World Toilet Summit, World Toilet Day, World Toilet College, all these are initiatives of this organization to inspire action to tackle the global sanitation crisis. So now the option is that this particular पूरा जो statement है, this statement 2 is appearing to be fine for me because these could be few ideas है ना, उसमें कुछ भी controversial नहीं है. Third statement, the main focus of its function is to grant funds to the least developed countries and the developing countries to achieve the end of open defecation. So the point is कि यहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा overwhelming ideas हैं. Least developing भी है, developed भी है, in order to end open defecation, and organization is just one, World Toilet Organization. So many a times when issues are very much overwhelming, you can always negate those options. जो आपको खुद लग रहे हैं ये बहुत overwhelming task है, you can always evade. Had it been least developing, मैं शायद 2 बार सोचती. It has been least developing and developing both, so I am negating this option. Third option is out from my book. Now it is only 2 and 1 2. So as far as these two options is concerned, at least हम 2 options में तो reduce हो ही गए. Now it is a pure test either of your luck or your intellect, ठीक है ना? तो अब 2 options में आप reduce हुए हैं. वैसे तो it is, first statement is not correct because it is a global non-profit organization. World Toilet Organization is not part of UN. In that ways, the correct option would be 2 only, right? So this is the way in which at least we can narrow down our options to 2 and then we can go forward with intelligence guessing also. Now what are the takeaways from IR? Takeaways from IR, one is the paper demonstrates that this is a perfect blend. हालांकि इन्होंने सिर्फ 3-4 question पूछे, but it was a perfect blend of both static as well as dynamic issues. Dynamic में they had asked about Operation Sankalp and all those, Operation Mitra Shakti and all, or static में they have asked about World Toilet Organization, right? Next is it emphasizes on the importance of regular newspaper reading. तो अगर regular newspaper reading है तो Operation Sankalp, Mitra Shakti, everything you could have come up. Last, it stay updated with national and international developments, and for that I would strongly recommend you people. So if you people are appearing for next year, please take forward mock exercises. That is a sine qua non for your preparation. Don't skip upon that. ठीक है? जब आप mock करते हो, so Vision do provides very nice अभ्यास prelim exercise immediately before the prelims. तो work stimulus environment में आप लोगों को वो exercise होती है. All India ranking आती है. अब you are able to understand where you fall, right? Though I don't say कि don't take this ranking very seriously. We have a very nice exercise Sandhan. ये Sandhan initiative में इस बार I was looking much of the database, say in UPSC also questions have come up. So this is quite a personalized thing. Wherever you feel your weaknesses, you can take forward those ideas from this exercise. जब आप mock test करते हो, it helps you to come out with informed guessing. क्योंकि आप गेस भी वहीं करोगे जो आपको पता है आपका फोटे है, You would not go for guessing in that area where you yourself feel lies your weakness, because after doing n number of mock tests, आपको आपकी strength पता चल जाती है. So if you are good into polity, you will take a free hand in going forward with informed guessing. आपको mock test करने के बाद लग गया मेरा current issues का कोई issue है, you will never go forward with blind guessing. Right? So this is also one benefit of taking forward mock test. तो mock test बिल्कुल लेंगे. And of course for all those, I wish all my students a great luck. For all those who are going to appear for mains, do come up for the mains exercises, mains test discussions. And last but not the least, go forth and shine bright in all you do, and all the very best for your life. And stay calm. Don't be very result oriented, but be into this journey with utmost grit determination. ठीक है? एक साल invest किया है, तो I would be giving my best and then leave the rest to God. So with that, I am ending the session. So next session would be taken up by Shivi ma'am, and your history and other issues would be discussed there. Okay? Thank you so much.